Good afternoon, Leo. And if you hear my snoring dog, I apologize. This is going to be your weekly reading. I apologize for dropping the ball last week. I had a lot going on energetically with myself. In fact, I almost quit my channel. I was just real frustrated because it just really seems like the only videos that people really want to watch are the ones where I'm telling people what's going to happen in the future with their loved one or with money or whatever. And I realize everybody's wanting to know these things. But I've kind of gotten away from that for the simple fact that whatever you believe to be true is true. So if I tell you that your partner is cheating on you or is going to leave you or is going to come back or if you're going to win the lottery, you're going to believe those things. I mean, some of those things are good or seem good, but you can do that yourself. And so basically, what I'm doing with these videos is trying to show people how to manifest things into their own lives and how to raise their own vibrations and really how to clear different patterns and maybe ancestral patterns, anything that's blocking you right now at this time. And I had almost given up just because I was like, you know what, people really don't want to hear my messages. But when I had announced that I was going to quit, because it was like really just like my fear of failure that I had to face, that I was just really scared that I wasn't going to succeed. And once I did that, a lot of people kind of reached out to me and they were like, you know what, there needs to be a channel like this. You're really helping me. So that just kind of gave me the courage and the strength to keep on making these videos. And I do enjoy doing them too because I get something out of them. So if you came here, so and like every now and then, physical stuff does come through, but I'm more of a higher vibrational reader. So I don't focus so much on the physical realm. So if you're coming here to, really find out, about your future or whatnot, I'm really focused in the now, because the power is in the now and really helping you to manifest whatever type of future that you want. So sorry, that's a little bit of a long spiel, but I had to get it out there. So the first card that we have is the Three of C's, which is compassion. Now, the C's is typically the cups, the traditional cups in the traditional tarot. Now, when I get this card, it's a third-party energy. So this could be someone else in the middle of your relationship. This could be substance abuse. This is some sort of codependency usually. And what I'm getting out of this is that somebody needs to cut ties with someone that they used to be involved with. Possibly, some sort of toxic relationship where there was a lot of codependency. Maybe you abused substances or they did. And this is preventing you from moving on. And this really has you stuck right now because you really can't focus your energy on anything else. And there are other connections, other, abundance and things that want to come to you, but you're blocking yourself because you still have this attachment. And Buddha says that attachment is the source of all suffering. And so do detach yourself and cut all ties with anybody that you need to do that with. If that means forgiving others, forgiving yourself, somebody needs to detox. I'm sorry, I keep saying I know somebody had commented one time, you say a lot. I know, I do that when I'm thinking. But the message came through too that somebody needs to detox and really clean their act up as far as coming off of any type of substances that they're on right now. Maybe alcohol or some sort of narcotic that's coming through for somebody. So definitely do clean up your act. And if you are involved with somebody who has addictions, do not enable. In fact, always put yourself first. And if you have to walk away, then do so. Do so for your own sanity. Because make sure you know what is your shit and what is someone else's. A lot of times we try to make ourselves very useful. And to where nobody will leave us. Nobody wants to walk away from us. That's that codependent energy. So and then, we get frustrated when we don't get back what we put into it. That's the reason why you should give it to yourself to begin with. To clarify that card, we have release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. So if you have an ex that just maybe keeps coming around, or someone that you need to release because of this codependency and because of this substance abuse, and maybe even some abuse, and this doesn't have to be physical abuse. This can be restricting your freedom, wanting to know every move that you make, who you talk to, being mentally abusive, emotionally abusive. Do release these things. Release them and, really focus on yourself. And if this person is meant to be with you, they will return. If not, then, you saved yourself a lot of trouble in the long run. We have Maiden Clarity. And so what I'm getting with this card is that you are going to be receiving clarity in a lot of areas of your life. And maybe it has to do with the situation that you're in. And maybe this isn't even the only situation like this that you've been in. And it took what is happening now for you to open up your eyes and see, you know what? I do keep attracting these type of situations. And the reason why is because I don't feel good about myself. And I want to have somebody who I know isn't going to leave. I know that I can do so much better than this person. But, understand, I'm not judging anybody else. But if you're in a situation, if you've kind of chosen someone, a partner who's not up to your level, this. And we do that, like I said, so that they don't want to leave us. They're like, well, there's no way I'm going to leave this person. Well, that can be very dangerous too. And that's how people get hurt. That message came through from Spirit. We have shape-shifting and clouds. And what I'm getting with this is that you have been distorting yourself, and you have been like a codependent chameleon. And just taking on whoever you're with, you take on their beliefs. Whatever they do, you do. Whatever they like to do, whatever they're interested in, you do. You're just a shapeshifter. And I call it a codependent chameleon, and I was one for years. And I didn't even know who I was. It took a long time for me to really realize who I was. And so that's the energy that I'm getting with this shapeshifting. You need to be true to yourself first and really go within, and you may just have to just pull your energy back and just focus on yourself for a while. We have the Sorceress. And so this is the message that's coming through with this card is this is magic. This is manifestation. And how do we manifest? We manifest with our thoughts. That is how we create the reality that we have, is by what we believe to be true. So do be very mindful of your thoughts. And if you don't believe me, play around with it. And it can be something that shows up. You're like, oh my God, this is horrible. But go back to what you were thinking about and what you were worrying about prior to that. Because I guarantee you it's some kind of underlying fear that is showing itself to you. So if you want to start manifesting better situations, watch your thoughts and start thinking more positively. And focus your energy and your intention on what you want and not what you don't want. And I needed to hear that too. Sometimes it's easier said than done. And I preach this week after week, and then I get caught up in lower energies. And lots of things can lower our energies. I don't watch TV for that reason. I don't watch the news. I don't read the newspaper. I know I sat at an appointment the other day, and I was in the waiting room, and I could hear the two secretaries talking about all of these things that were going on in the world that were horrible. Babies being found in dumpsters and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I had to listen for like a half hour to nothing but horrible shit. I mean, my vibrations were so low when I left. It's no wonder that I sunk down into the pit of despair and started aligning to all kinds of, scarcity and lack and fear, fears and poverty and all this kind of stuff. So definitely watch. If they are gossiping in the break room at your job, go outside and sit instead. Get some fresh air. To clarify that card, we have don't live to 94 without founding an art movement. The practical should also be art. Does your geometry lack poetry? So the message that I'm getting with this is all about expression, because art and poetry are how we express ourselves. And really, when I look at like geometry to me is more logical. Okay, that's more thinking. And everything else, the art and poetry, is more from your soul. So definitely stay out of your head. And even though it may seem logical and it might seem like the thing to do to sit and worry and wonder and try to figure things out on your own, a lot of times we complicate things when we do that, because spirit, the divine, whatever you want to call it, the universe, already has it worked out. And then we go and, we've created another path for ourselves because we were focused on the illusion of control, that we had some sort of control. Which, understand, we are co-creators and we do manifest. But whatever is going to happen is going to happen. When we try to control the outcome and add all of the details to it, then we get it all messed up. That's the reason why I'm always saying, and it kind of reminds me here about this art, the practical should also be art. Keep that blank slate that the universe can paint for you. Do set your intention out there with your feelings and where you're vibrating at with your energy of what you want. Not what you don't want, but what you want. And let the universe paint that canvas for you. Because the universe can do that so much more magically than we ever could. Because we can't even imagine the abundance and the beauty and the bounty that the universe has in store for us. We have the Two of Earth, which is cycles. And this is all about the energy that I'm getting with this are these astrological, these planetary cycles. And the Earth just keeps spinning on its axis. And we have all of these, retrogrades and planet, different placements of the planets. And I'm not even though I do astrological readings, I'm not really an astrologist. We have these new moons and these full moons and how they affect us energetically. And so we're always on this journey. It's a forward moving journey, but it's in cycles. It's cyclic like this. So some days you might feel down and some days you might feel up. Now, if you are feeling down, understand, if you really work with the energy and don't resist what's happening, you will be so much stronger for it when you get to the other side. Because all of these things are happening for a reason, because you are clearing things out. If something comes up that, like I said, that you judge as shitty, really look at the lesson in it. What is this trying to show me? And people are perfect mirrors. So they are here to show us things. So do definitely look in that mirror of what they are trying to show you. I know I had a situation where I had somebody who had said something kind of hateful, and it was really towards my race. And I didn't get upset about it because I realized that we're all at different levels of consciousness. And so I dismissed it, and I, quickly, forgave him. But I walked away thinking, man, it must be really hard to have so much hatred inside of you. And then I thought about it, and I thought of the people that I hate, not because of race, but because of shit that they've done to me. And so I really did, take a good long look at it, and I started forgiving people. So that was like a perfect mirror for me. That Cycles card, we have Hex and Banishment. And so the energy that I'm getting with this is that you are feeling rejected right now. I know the week before last, I faced the fear of rejection, and it was terrible. I was so scared, and I was like, man, I was too scared to get out. I work in sales. I have my own business, and I was too scared to approach people. What if they say no? And all of a sudden, it's just this fear was so crippling, and it really affected my finances. And it really set me back financially a couple weeks because I really had to clear that fear. But I do feel like you are facing this fear of rejection. But understand, this is a self-imposed prison. You are doing this. So do really take a good long look at it. And how do we become fearless? We become fearless by facing our fears. That's what they're there for, to show us. Our fears are here to help us, and understand fears are just illusions. They're not even real. How is a fear real? They're not. It's all in your head, just like everything else you're creating in this matrix that we live in. Wise woman. And so basically, the energy that I'm getting with this is that you are becoming your soul, and you are really stripping off your ego as you face these fears. And that's what you're doing here, and that's what you're doing here. And you're getting closer and closer to who you are as a soul. And you're realizing, that you may even have spiritual gifts that you had forgotten that you had. That's all that spiritual awakening is remembering who you were. Waking up from soul amnesia. You've always had these gifts. You've always been this beautiful soul, but you forgot. You forgot you were a god and goddess in manifestation. So this is all about remembering. And everything that's happened so far has given you wisdom so that you can wake up to these things. How beautiful. Because to clarify that card, we have supernatural, inexplicable, miraculous, and otherworldly. And what I was saying in some of my other videos is that, a lot of us, if not all of us, are otherworldly. We're not even from this planet. And so, there's all these different cycles going on with the planet, like different new moons. Like we just had the Taurus new moon. And these energies are not going to affect everybody. I know these last energies affected me, so they must have been my energies. But the explanation that I have been giving for that is it all depends on where your soul is from, as far as what planets that you align to. We have the Two of Balance, Two of Wind, which is all about balance. And so this is definitely, and the energy that I'm getting from this, and I have talked a lot about collapsing duality. See, we were incarnated here on this planet to experience duality. There really is only oneness. Things like opposites, like up, down, left, right, good, bad, all of those do not exist. That is the illusion of separation, the illusion of duality. And we were incarnated here, divine beings, to have physical experiences, to experience this. And so in order to balance, we have to really stop judging things that come up. If something comes up, just don't resist it, accept it. It is what it is. Practice saying it is what it is. This is here to show me something. This is here to serve me. This is here to get me closer to where I want to be at. There's a reason for it. And so tell yourself that. And once you stop resisting your inner situation, your outer situation will change. To clarify that, we have my faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. Beautiful. Because there is no fear. There's only love. We all are love source energy. That source energy, that God source energy, where we came from. Before all of the conditioning and all of the fears, before our teachers, our parents, our peers taught us that we were supposed to be scared or hate different groups of people for whatever reason, or that we're supposed to be scared of this or supposed to be scared of that. So we are returning to love. And once you really change your perspective about trauma and any type of conflict that you've had, and really look at it as, you know what, this really did teach me. This really did help me to become wiser and to become this amazing sorceress and to have compassion for others. Lots of lessons. Look at all of the lessons. Once you do that, you will see what it's all been for. Beautiful. Wealthy man. And so the message that I'm getting with this is all about abundance, because there's two abundance cards. Look, there's sudden wealth and there's wealthy man. And so basically what I'm getting with this is that you are going to bring in more abundance, but you have to really release that lack and scarcity mentality, that poverty mentality that you have. It's a poverty mentality that's keeping wealth away. Because it's almost the energy that I'm getting from these two cards is that good things don't happen to me. Something always happens. Things just always go downhill. Everything just gets fucked up. Do clear that victim mentality. So you can get out of this scarce and lack and this poverty mentality that you've been in, so that these things can come into you. And they want to come to you. What I'm getting with this card, and I don't read this bullshit because it's always real negative. It really is, and I just don't do negative reading. But when I was doing reading with playing cards, the spades were the pentacle, and these were the four of pentacles. And so with that being said, this is all about overgiving, this part up here. And that was what I was talking about up here, that overgiving out of codependency and fear of losing someone. And so you hate to say no to them. What if they leave? What if they go and ask someone else? Well, you know what? If they're meant for you, you cannot lose them. If you lose them, they were not meant for you. And then right here, what I'm getting is that third eye opening. That third eye opening, so that you realize there is more than what meets the eye. There's more going on than what meets the eye all of the time. And really tapping into your intuition. All right, I have this postcard oracle card. Dearest you, did you know that when you stop fighting and accept everything exactly as it is right now, miracles start to happen? Wow. I promise I did not read this until just now. I always make sure I read these after my reading, because I love for it to really go along with what I have said, and that's perfect. There is freedom in this kind of radical acceptance. Let go of unrealistic expectations and see things as they really are, not how you'd like them to be. You'd be surprised how everything seems to fall into place. When you refuse to accept things, life gets messy. You act messy, and your world stays in chaos, tension, and disarray. But don't try to force a change or manipulate circumstances. Instead, learn about what it is in front of you and face it with your eyes fully open. Then you can decide, stay or go, sink or swim, move or stay still. Acceptance is the key to freedom and opens the door to the real opportunities waiting to be discovered. Set yourself and others free. Loving you so much, always and forever. That is perfect. Set yourself and others free. Break free of that self-imposed prison and that codependency that you have, and do accept what's happening right now. Stop resisting it and watch the circumstances change. That is a beautiful reading. Well, if you would like to make an energy donation, or if you would like to pay for a personal reading to see what is personally blocking you on your path, then I will put my Cash App handle and my PayPal email address in the description of the video. Thank you for watching.